Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for being today with us. Today is about mindset in business, and we have a special guest with us, Avinash Deshpande. He is a business entrepreneur. He has 22 years of experience in the corporate world across different industries. Avinash is currently the acting CEO for MBK Consulting, which is an organization in Qatar specialized in innovation consulting, NLP trainings, and entrepreneurship, as well as communication coaching. Avinash has worked with clients globally as a communication and entrepreneurship coach, and has also coached and trained CEOs and CFOs, senior faculty members, and teachers in more than 14 schools in Qatar. He is passionate about spreading the benefits of NLP and changing job mindset into entrepreneurial mindset through his global coaching practice. Welcome, Avinash.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it is amazing to be on your show. So thank you so much for inviting me today.
Thank you. I thank you for being here with us, because without you, we couldn't do this. And our mission is to share the mission of coaches, trainers, and consultants, and to reach as many people as possible. Because I believe that only if we come together, we can really have an impact on this world. And Absolutely. This is really the mission.
And that's an amazing mission to have, because I think together we can really spread this amazing world of coaching to the entire world.
Absolutely. I really believe that nowadays, with everything that's happening around us, with the pandemic, but also many business owners are struggling to really get their message across and really go to people, into their minds and into their homes. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And yes, as you rightly said, with the pandemic going on, things have completely changed how they were before. And in this times, you really need a easy, efficient way of communicating with each other, especially when you are not in front of each other, when you are online. The world has changed, businesses are not going as they were. And so your communication needs to be at a different level. And this is where I really support creating some awareness about neuro-linguistic programming.
Thank you so much, Avinash. This actually answers the question on what is your mission. So your mission is to help others, to help people in their career, but also business owners to really communicate better. Is this it?
Absolutely. So what my mission is, that I have been saying that communication is one of the most important elements which can make or break businesses. I have seen important negotiations go down the drain just because the other person was not able to communicate effectively. Absolutely. And I have seen simple businesses turn into unicorns, multi-billion-dollar businesses, just because of the easiness of working with those people because of their communication.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Can I ask you, what does it mean, communication? Is it just our words? Or does it go beyond? Is it our body language? Is it our energy? What does it mean, communication, actually?
And you asked a very relevant question, because that's the fundamental of what do we understand by communication. And communication in terms of the word itself is a vast subject. It's a big thing. So to break it down to a simple element is that it's not just about the words, it's not about the body language, but it is about the message that you as an individual want to convey. And what that message is not what you want to convey, but the message is what the other person understands. So no matter how efficient I feel myself that I am a good communicator, unless it reaches to the right audience in the exact way that you want it to be, the communication is not complete.
Wow, this is really powerful, and this is really powerful information and a lot of value that you are giving to us. And this also makes me realize that as business owners, sometimes we don't find our words or we don't find our message and we don't know how to put it out there on the market, or maybe we don't even know what we want, and this is another issue.
Absolutely. And again, this is a very, very relevant point, because every time we communicate, we are focused on what am I wanting to give you. Okay. Irrespective of understanding what is it that you need as my audience. And the moment you change this perspective, and I want to really understand what is it that you will get value from, my communication completely shifts 180 degrees. And this is the main thing, that the moment I put myself in your shoes and say, oh, this is what I would like to hear, and then I start communicating, life becomes so much easier.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. And I am wondering, Avinash, how can business owners identify what their target audience wants? How do we find out actually what words to use and how to reach them?
Exactly. And see, what happens is, very interestingly, because our minds are so occupied in so many things, we make simple things very complicated. So the first thing that you want to make sure, that if the things are simple, keep them simple. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is the question that you asked: how do I know what my audience, or what my client, or as a business owner, what do my customers need? The simple answer is 3 alphabets: ASK. Ask them. Go into the market, speak to your client, speak to your customer, really ask them. And this is something which, as business owners, find it very difficult to do, because we assume things. We assume that, okay, my client would like what I am doing for him, my client would like my product and service, and I really take it for granted that this is something that they will love. So I keep on working on things which they might or may not like. The moment I go ahead and ask, so if I want to ask you, what is it that you want from this interview? I am in a better position to really communicate better that, oh, this is what will add value to your audiences. But if I assume that, no, let me talk about what I know and not even ask you, correct, it defeats the purpose of this communication. And it's very similar in any business, in any relationship. Go ahead and ask what you want and you shall get it, because if you do not ask, the answer will always be no.
This is very, very powerful. And I fully agree with you. And this is something that I recently learned actually, on how to get traffic into my boot camps, into my coaching programs, how to get out there the ads. And really, this was one of the tips that I received, like go out there and look for it. And as you mentioned, ask for it, because you cannot assume, you cannot know. So this is really, really valuable information you are giving us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you think that this could be one of the reasons why so many coaching businesses and businesses in general fail?
Not only fail, but they fail to take off. They don't even take off. Again, the moment my assumptions change from thinking about what I am, what I can give, because see, it's very human. It's a human psychology. If I have learned so much, now I want to give it to the people. If I have a product, I want to go in the market and sell it. Correct? Because I am within my own world of the time, efforts, money that I have put in to reach here. The moment I move out from this, okay, whatever I have done is for my own good. Now what I want to focus is, what does the world need? I go and ask, what do you need today? And if you need this, I customize my work, my customized things that I have worked on. I customize my knowledge to really cater to you. So for example, if I am serving a dish, okay, and somebody likes with less salt, I should be able to put the lesser salt in it and serve it to you. If somebody likes it spicy, I would be able to give it to you as a spicy dish, but not think that everybody loves spicy, so let me serve everything spicy. So you see where I'm going with this.
Yes, absolutely. And this is really, really amazing and a lot of value. And I am also thinking right now on the spot, would it be a good idea for those who are starting their businesses right now, Instead of starting and thinking, what can I do? What is my idea? How can I approach this? Go out there on the market and find the problem, and then start implementing and developing their business.
You hit the nail on its head. Believe me, this is the best approach, because instead of thinking about, so there are two ways to do this. One is to go out and ask, okay, and find out what the problem of the client is, what the problem of the world is. The second approach is look into yourself and find out what is the problem that you are currently facing. So if you are standing in a long queue for 10 hours and you do not know that technology that you have can solve this problem, go ahead and start implementing that. If you go out and find out that, oh, you are not able to transact a particular transaction and you have an idea how you can do it, go ahead and do it. The Airbnbs, the Ubers, all these were formed in this way, by identifying their own problem and getting a solution. If you can solve your own problems, you can solve the world's problem.
I like that. I like that very much. Is in a way, be the change you want to see in the world. From
Absolutely.
Gandhi.
From Gandhi, yes.
Absolutely. This is really, really powerful. And I would like to ask you, how does NLP comes into place? Because you also mentioned that you are a coach on NLP. How can NLP improve our lives and organizations? Because this is a big issue that we have today. And this is something that I have been discussing with many coaches, that we have a career or we are finding a job, but we don't really have a purpose. We are not going a job because we have a mission, because we want to inspire other people or really contribute to this world. And this is a big issue we have everywhere nowadays. So how can we use NLP, and what is it for those who don't know what it is?
Exactly. And if you have heard, and this is a cliche that I will just say it again, that if you really start doing what you love, you don't have to work one more day in your life. But the problem is, how do you know what you love? How do you find your purpose? And this is exactly where I come in to tell you about neuro-linguistic programming. NLP stands for neuro, your neurology, your brain. The linguistic, it's about the language that we use. And the programming means the behavior that we have. So NLP is such a powerful technique wherein you could really change your behavior and your neurology by changing the language that you use. And this is so powerful that if you want to find the purpose of your life, really go down deep and find out, how do you speak to yourself? What is it that you speak to yourself? What is it that you really want to give to the world? And there is a process for this. And this is exactly what I coach people into. I take them through a process where they really understand, if I change my language with myself, and this is one question that I ask all my audience, and I would like to ask you as well. Do you know that one person whom you speak the most, whom do you speak the most to?
The most I speak to would be, I think, my parents.
Okay, so if I say no, they are not your parents, who would be the next one?
Myself.
Amazing, exactly. And people fail to understand that 99% of the communication is with yourself. Even now, when you're not speaking, you're still speaking to yourself. You must be thinking, okay, what will Avinash say next, for example?
Absolutely,
or you may be
absolutely.
thinking, okay, this is exciting, this is amazing. How can I really take benefit from this? How can I give this benefit to my audience? These are all the things that are coming to your mind. And this is because you are still speaking to yourself. So constantly, now imagine the language that you use to speak to yourself can be changed into a way wherein every time you speak to yourself, you are going closer to success. Every time you want to do something, you are moving a little bit closer to your goals. Every time you want to say something to yourself, you are moving closer to your purpose in life. And there is a process to this. This can be done. It is not a talent. It is not something that you are born with. It's a skill. You can develop it. Provided you understand the process behind it, it's easy to know it. And this is exactly where coaching comes in, because we are so occupied with our own thoughts. Unless there is somebody else who can take charge of, take the accountability of your thoughts and say, why don't you, did you think of this? And there the eureka bulb glows. Oh yes, why not? And this is what the relationship between neuro-linguistic programming and coaching is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I fully agree with you. And I believe that the issue we have nowadays is that we are thinking, we have all these thoughts in our mind, but we don't stop to reflect on what are these thoughts? Why are they coming? What are still my fears that I need to overcome? And I know that I am still doing this. I am growing every single day, and it's never going to be over because they keep coming in a way. Am I enough? Am I good enough? Do I deserve this? How can I, as you said, how can I give more value to other people? And all of this, I think sometimes they stop us from really achieving our mission and from going out there no matter what, no matter the fears and the doubts we are having.
Absolutely. And again, you mentioned it right. You mentioned a word, am I enough? And I think that is a very, very core subject to know about, because the moment we come out of our self-doubt, you say it to yourself, and imagine just saying it, the words that you use, I am enough. So if I were you, I would just close my eyes and then say it to myself, I am enough, I am enough. And you would see the amazing transformation that happens within, because then there is no space for self-doubt. Irrespective of how expert we become, irrespective of how much knowledge we have, if there is one little self-doubt, if I am enough, and if you conquer that doubt, you can really conquer the world. The world is the limit then.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Avinash. And I am wondering right now, how often do I have to say to myself, I am enough?
Again, it's about the practice. The point in time wherever you feel that this is the time you need to say to yourself, that's the exact time. And there is no defined time for that. If you feel it now, say it to yourself. I am enough. I am enough. And see the joy on your face, because it really reflects out. You start glowing, and people would know this. If you are satisfied with yourself, if you are content with yourself, when you give something to others, they are content about you. They take it in a very positive spirit. If I do not have something, I cannot give it to you.
Absolutely.
So the moment I say I am enough, there is so much to give, because I am enough in my own self.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I would just like to take a moment, and for those who are listening to us, just take a moment, breathe in, and say all together, I am enough.
Amazing, amazing.
Amazing. I hope that everyone did it. If you didn't do it, you still have time. Stop the video or stop the whatever you are watching and do it, because this is really powerful. And I know that something I started to work with when I started my journey of personal development was to say to myself, I love you. This was really, really difficult at the beginning. And it took me 6 years to really get to a point where I can easily say it without anything retaining me.
Absolutely. And on your show, specifically on your show, today I'm going to give you one more statement, which is really life-changing, and you can try it for yourself. And it goes very well with I am enough. So the moment you say I am enough, the next best statement to say is that I have chosen this for myself. I have chosen this for myself. So whenever you do things, say to yourself, I have chosen this for myself. This is your own choice. Now what happens, it gets you into a completely different mindset. What most of the times when we do things, you are doubting whether, oh, this is because somebody else has told me, or because I'm doing it for my customer, for my client, for him, and you lose the ownership. The moment you say, no, I have chosen this for myself, whether it is a right decision, a wrong decision, good decision, bad decision, it's for yourself. You take the ownership. And there is an amazing transformation, because there is no wrong decision. There is only right learning. And when you say this, that I have chosen this, all your decisions turn into learnings.
Absolutely.
And you as an individual become more learned. So you
Amazing.
become more enough.
Absolutely. And this actually makes me think about our ability of taking responsibility for our actions. And unfortunately, too many times we are victims, or we blame other people, or we blame the society or the government or the economy. And we have so many excuses when we fail or we don't succeed in what we are proposing for ourselves and our families. And I believe that there is a change that can be done. What do you think? What could be this change? Why do we live on automatic pilot, blaming all the time other people?
No, and this is the sense of responsibility, because as so there are so many elements of what you are today or what I am today. When I have grown up, there is a cultural element. There is something that I have taken from my parents. There are many things which I have taken from my teachers. There are other things which I have taken from the society. Now, all these elements have taught me to be dependent on others so that I can put the blame on others. Right? The moment you change that shift, and this is exactly where neuro-linguistic programming comes in. It's all about the language. It's about the programming that you do for yourself. We have been programmed over the years to be dependent, to be blaming somebody else. The moment you start taking responsibility, and this was that statement that I talked about, that this is, I choose to do this. You remove all those dependencies. And I will give you a very good example. The next time you feel something is not correct, go and ask yourself, whom do I have to blame? The moment you have one person, thing, animal, element to blame, that means you have not it there yet. The moment you say, no, this is my choice, it changes the perspective. Right? And then the next decision will be a lot more better, because now you know, you have learned from your decisions.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. And I like this very much. The value you are giving to our audience is doesn't have a measure. Thank you so much, Avinash. What I would like to ask you next is, how can we incorporate NLP in our corporate world and in our businesses?
Absolutely. So NLP as such has 4 basic pillars, right? One is your behavioral flexibility, how your behavior can adapt to things. Okay. The other one is rapport. Rapport is a very, very important element in terms of building relationships, whether in business or in your personal life. And how to build that rapport in itself is something that NLP teaches. And there are multiple ways, there are definite techniques wherein you can build rapport. Now, if you look at us, we probably have never met before. This is the first time that I'm interacting with you. But if you see the camaraderie that we have, the easiness that you have, it's because of your flexibility. You have been doing this so many times, right? You have been adapting to different people. So you have developed a mindset of being adaptable. So you come across as a very likable person. Now, how to do this is a technique in itself. Neuro-linguistic programming teaches you that technique. Now, if imagine every conversation in your business with your client starts on this high note, the business would automatically become easier. You don't really have to sell something to others, because then you are creating value. And if you create value, people see that value and they come and buy. And this is a giving mindset that we want to develop through NLP. Because people are always focused about, how do I take from you? How do I get this? How do I get your money? For example, how do I get your product? The moment you change this into a giving mindset, how do I give value to you? Everybody else is ready to take that value. Isn't it? So it's a shift of mindset. NLP is purely about mindset. It's about your language that you speak. It's about your behavior. It's about your neurology.
Absolutely. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Avinash. And this also makes me think about business owners, as you mentioned, who want to sell their products, their services, and even their programs, but who are not really connected to themselves, who don't really have a purpose. They just want to sell because they want to have their businesses succeed. What would you recommend? What is one technique they could apply to change this mindset?
You want to hear an honest answer? I want them to close down their business for some time. Really. I want them to close down their business for some time, not because it is to be closed down completely, but because they need to go back and self-reflect. If they reflect upon themselves to find out what's the why they are doing this business, because it is just about making money, probably that is a why. But if you do not associate your why to making money, that money will never be giving value to people. So you will never reach there. So in a simple process, what I would recommend is go ahead and hire a coach. Look out for somebody who sees the business from outside. You are, as a business owner, so engrossed into business, you are worried about your profit and loss. You are worried about your balance sheets. You are worried about your employee salaries. You are worried about your technology. You are worried about so many things that you do not have time to worry about yourself. And you are your business.
Wow, this is really, I am so I'm blown minded, if I can call it like that. I am really grateful to have you here with us. And thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge with our audience. I believe that everyone appreciates this and everyone needs to hear it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I really am thankful that you give people this platform, because there is so much value that is created out this platform. And this platform, when it reaches out to the world, they will see the value. They will come and connect with you. I have connected. I'm thinking hundreds of other people who can connect with you and create this value. And if imagine everybody starts, I believe that everybody is a special person. Everybody has something to give. And if we collect this in a bucket through your platform, imagine the contents of those buckets.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And this is actually the vision of my Design Tomorrow, because my message for those who are listening is that I do not believe that we need one big thing that is going to absolutely transform our life. It's little pieces coming together from our spirituality, from our emotional well-being, from our health, from our relationship, business, financial. All these pieces together are going to make your life amazing. So it's not one thing. It's not money, if this is what you're looking for, that is really going to make you feel fulfilled and content.
Absolutely. And this is a very interesting thing. Ask your audience. So if all those people who are listening, okay, if you feel that money is something that is going to make you successful, do this exercise. Write down how much money will you need to be successful. Write it down on a piece of paper. Now look at that amount. And imagine that through this platform, through you, they will get this money. For example, okay, imagine that this money will be transferred to their bank account. Now what? Now what do they do? This is the question that they need to ask. If they know the answer, that they will still continue doing what they are doing, despite of their goals being achieved in monetary terms, this is what they need to continue doing. But if the answer is not that, it is something different, then you need to self-reflect again, because you think that this much amount is enough. You think this is the money that I'm looking for, but that's absolutely not. And it's a very simple exercise. Just imagine you have all the money in the world. What will you do now? It changes the perspective, isn't it?
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. And related to those people who are not in a business, but rather a career, who are always trying to do more and achieve more and go into the hierarchy, what would you advise to them? Is it the same advice that you would give, or is it something else?
So especially as those who are in the working community, okay, and there is nothing wrong in working jobs. Of course, you need to work for a living, but I'm just thinking out loud. If you consider what you are doing today as a job, okay, if you are working for an employer and you're doing a job, think about 5 years down the line. Will your job still be relevant? Will you be doing the same thing 5 years down the line, with the technology changing, with the artificial intelligence, with the machine learning, with the robots coming in, right? Will you still be doing what you're doing? And if you feel yes, please continue doing that. If you are enjoying what you do, if you can flourish and you can contribute value to your employer, value to your employment, please continue. But if not, if you think that technology will change in the next 3 years, 5 years, then you need to go back and reflect on what you are doing today, because otherwise there would be another COVID, there will be another pandemic, but not in this form. It could be in any other form, and you will be left, oh, I should have listened to Avinash. I should have really thought about this. I should have seen this program. I should have really been a part of this and changed my mindset, isn't it?
Absolutely, but I really also think that this takes a long time. It took me 6 years on this path of personal development, and I know that is not happening in an instant, and we need to build the rituals. We need to have this thinking every single day.
A very simple methodology. If you want to do it faster, you don't have to wait for 6 years. You can do it in 6 months. What you need to do is every morning when you get up, have a journal. Identify what will be your goal for the day. And every evening, every night when you go to sleep, be thankful about things that you have achieved. So the gratitude journal and the goals journal. In the morning, it's the goals, and in the evening, it's the gratitude. Believe me, 6 months down the line, all of those who are listening today, we will have this show again after 6 months, and you will tell me, yes, Avinash, we have achieved a lot more, which we could have taken 6 years to achieve.
I love that. And those who are listening, apply this. Don't wait 6 years, don't wait 10 years or more, because it's not worth it. And also because I know that life is short. And I heard recently this sentence, which really impacted me, that poor people are selling their time for money, and rich people are giving away money to gain more time. And this is really powerful, because we need to change this. We only have this life. We don't have a lot more. And unfortunately, we don't take advantage of it.
100%. And I completely agree with you, because it's not about being a rich or poor people. It's about having a rich or a poor mindset. If you can be poor with no bank balance, but you have a rich mindset, you remember there are people who have been millionaires and they become bankrupt, and you stay for a few years, they become millionaires again. And people who have won lottery, 90% of them have lost everything within 2 years or less. Absolutely. And that's because they have a poor mindset. So these are very, very real examples of real life, wherein it's not about how much money you have in your bank. It's about how much money you have here in terms of your mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Avinash. I would like to close by asking you, how can people contact you, and who are you serving? Who can contact you?
Absolutely. And with this pandemic going on, I think the world is a stage. Okay. I am available. I am sitting in Qatar, but it is a global audience for me. I have been serving, as you rightly said initially, people in Spain, Georgia, USA, UK, just through this frame, this laptop. Correct. So the world is an audience. And for me, basically, you can connect me with avinashdeshpande.com. You have all my details there. I have my Facebook page. I have my Instagram account. I am on social media. And personally, you can contact me on 974 77226910. That's my number. So for people who want to really contact me and have these amazing sessions, and I would give the first session just because I'm on your show. The first session for 45 minutes would be on you. So you will be having me give it free for your audience. So I will decide this with you, but for your audience, this will be free of cost.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Avinash. We are grateful, and I am grateful for having you here. We learned so much today from you, and I could keep going over and over again, but I know that we have to close. So thank you for being here with us.
Much for inviting me. It is an amazing experience, and I think you are on your way to amazing success by reaching people right in their hearts through doing this amazing program. So thank you so much, and I wish to see you again and again.
Absolutely. We will keep in contact for sure. For
See
those
you.
who are listening, thank you so much for listening to us today. Stay connected. There is more coming, more coaches, more consultants who are going to share their mission and their teaching so that we can transform this world together. And we always grow together. Thank you so much for watching us.